That red and white Purina bag sitting in your kitchen right now, the one your dog is going to eat from tonight, the one you grabbed because the name feels like it has always been there, is not the simple all-American choice the front of the bag sold you. It looks like Heartland Trust in a checkerboard square. But once you see who actually owns it, what's really on the back panel, and what the word prescription on the vet's shelf does not legally mean, you will not look at that bag the same way again. So we went looking. We pulled Purina's recall record straight from the FDA. We read the ingredient panels line by line. We traced the corporate ownership all the way up past the flag on the bag to a headquarters most owners have never heard named. We read the FDA's own guidance on prescription pet food, and we read the class action filed against the biggest brands in the country. What we found is not a scandal about one bad batch. It's about a system. Let's be clear about one thing first. Because it matters. We are not here to scare you away from feeding your dog, and we are not blaming you for buying a brand you trusted. You were sold a feeling by people who are very good at selling feelings. Your dog can't read the label, can't pick a different bowl, and can't tell you when something's wrong. That's the whole reason this matters. You're the only one who can read it for them, and you probably already suspected something. Maybe the bag costs more than it did 2 years ago for the same food. Maybe the recipe quietly changed. Maybe your vet handed you one specific brand and something about how certain they were made you pause. If your gut has been telling you the trusted story is doing a lot of heavy lifting, your gut is right. We're going to show you exactly why, and by the end, the checklist that actually protects your dog at the shelf. Don't skip ahead, because here's where it starts. Purina markets itself as an American institution, the checkerboard, the heritage. The sense that this is just a good, honest, homegrown dog food company. It is the #1 pet food company in the country. Millions of dogs eat a Purina brand tonight. That scale is exactly why the truth behind the name deserves a second look. But here's what most pet owners never look at. Who actually holds that bag? Not the mascot on the front, the company on the filing. Because the moment you follow the name up the corporate ladder, the all-American story falls apart in a single step. And everything else in this video follows from that one fact. Purina is not an independent American company. It is a division of Nestlé, the Swiss multinational, headquartered in Vevey, Switzerland, best known around the world for coffee. Nestlé bought Ralston Purina and folded it into Nestlé Purina Pet Care for $10.3 billion. In a deal that closed in December of 2001, the American classic in your kitchen has answered to a food conglomerate in Switzerland for more than 20 years. That's not on the front of the bag. And it's not just one brand. Walk the aisle. Pro Plan. Purina, one dog chow. Beneful, Friskies, Fancy Feast, Alpo, Beggin. Even the cat litter Tidy Cats, 20 plus names, budget bag to premium dog food to cat food to the litter box. They look like competitors fighting for your money. They are the same company. That is the illusion of choice, and Purina is one of the biggest engines of it on the shelf. And this pet business isn't a side project. In Nestlé's own annual reports, Purina Pet Care is described, their words, as the single largest contributor to the company's growth, 2 years running, straight through the worst of inflation. Sales of Pro Plan alone reach almost 3 billion Swiss francs. Your dog's dinner is not a sentimental little brand. It is the profit engine of one of the largest food companies on earth. Now let's open the bag, take Purina Dog Chow, one of the most recognizable dog foods in America. The always been there bag. Read the panel out loud in order the way the company hopes you won't. Ground yellow corn, chicken byproduct meal, corn gluten meal, whole wheat flour, soybean meal, sugar, and near the bottom, the words that tell you the most, animal digest, added color, and a synthetic vitamin most people have never heard of. That is not a recipe, that's a cost spreadsheet with a dog on the front. Let's translate. Animal digest is a broth of hydrolyzed tissue that gets sprayed onto the outside of the kibble, because the kibble underneath is bland enough that a dog would walk away from it without the flavor coating. And chicken byproduct meal, with no cut named, means the ground, rendered part left after the meat you'd recognize is gone. Named meat, chicken, salmon is a real ingredient. A generic byproduct meal is the parts the butcher couldn't sell you, dried and ground. Then there are the dyes. Yellow 5, red 40, yellow 6, blue 2, 4 artificial colors in a food for an animal that can't even see them. Your dog is dichromatic. 2 cones, not 3. It sees the world in muted blues and yellows, and that meaty red piece and that vegetable green pellet look great to your dog. The color was never for the dog, it's for you. So the bowl looks like meat and vegetables instead of dyed corn. And those same dyes carry a warning label about children's attention on human food across Europe. Now the chemistry. In Purina's Moist and Meaty, you'll find a preservative called etoxiquin. Its job is to keep fat from going rancid. Here's what the label doesn't tell you. Etoxiquin was originally developed as a pesticide and a hardening agent for rubber. Europe looked at the science, could not resolve the concerns about its safety, and denied it as a feed additive. An effective ban that took hold in 2022. Banned in the bowl in Europe, still legal in the bag here. And in Purina's Beggin, the bacon smell, treat your dog would do backflips for. The fat is preserved with BHA. California has listed BHA as a chemical known to cause cancer under Proposition 65 since 1990. 1990, before a lot of you watching were even born. It's a legal preservative, but legal and the thing I choose to feed something that trusts me are not the same sentence. There is also menadione, synthetic vitamin K3, listed on dog chow, on Beneful, on some pro-plan formulas. The synthetic K3 form isn't sold as a human supplement, only the natural forms are. The cleaner brands leave it out and use a natural source instead. So the question writes itself, why is a form of a vitamin that's kept out of your supplement aisle sitting in the daily bowl? But the ingredients are only where this starts. Because the next thing we followed wasn't in the bag, it was on the receipt. Because while the recipe was built down to a price, the price to you went up fast. US pet food prices jumped about 14% in a single year from 2022 into 2023. More than double the rate of regular groceries. That's not the cost of better meat in the bag. So where did that money go? We followed it. And the answer is the cleanest number in this whole investigation. In 2023, Nestle raised its prices by 7.5%. While the actual amount of product people bought went down, customers bought less, and the profit margin still went up to 17.3%. Read that again. You paid more, they sold less, and they made more. And Purina was the single biggest reason their numbers held. Their own CEO said the price increases would keep coming. That's not a company under pressure. That's a company using your dog's dinner to protect a margin. But the biggest markup Purina sells isn't on the supermarket shelf at all. It's the bag with the medical-looking label, the one that costs the most. The one you'd never question because you didn't choose it. Your vet did. And what that bag legally is and legally isn't is the part of this story the entire industry would rather. You never found out. Before we get into it, and this is the part that made us stop and reread the FDA's own words 3 times. Take 1 second to subscribe and hit like. It helps push this investigation to the pet owners about to spend a small fortune on a bag they were told was medicine. Then stay with us. Because here's what prescription on your dog's food actually means. Purina sells Pro-Plan veterinary diets, the kidney formula, the gastro formula, the hydrolyzed formula as prescription food, sold only with your vet's authorization at a premium that feels justified because it feels medical. But go to the FDA's own guidance document on these diets. It says, in plain language, that these products are not approved animal drugs and that they have not been evaluated by the FDA for safety, for efficacy, or for nutritional adequacy. The medicine you thought you were buying was never approved as medicine. Here's the part that should genuinely bother you. There is no federal law that requires a prescription to buy pet food. None. The FDA's guidance talks about the food being sold under the direction of a veterinarian. As a policy the agency tolerates, not a drug rule, it enforces. So the prescription is not a medical or legal requirement. It's a sales channel, a gate, a way to make food feel like pharmacy and to price it that way, with no drug in it and no approval behind it. And follow who taught your vet to trust the brand. In December of 2024, Purina gave $4.5 million to 3 veterinary schools, Cornell, UC Davis, and Colorado State. Its Purina Institute runs the accredited continuing education courses, Vet Stay, and the WSAVA Nutrition Committee, the group that writes the official How to Choose a Pet Food Guidelines, Vets Hand You, states on its own site that it is supported by Hills, the Purina Institute, and Royal Canin. The food maker funds the school, funds the courses, helps fund the guidelines, then sells you the diet those guidelines point toward. The loop is closed. This isn't just our reading of it. In a class action called Moore vs. Mars Pet Care, pet owners named the biggest brands in the country, and Nestle Purina is one of the named defendants. The lawsuit alleged that prescription pet food contains no drug and no ingredient not also found in ordinary pet food, and that the prescription requirement misleads owners into paying more. Now, to be precise, the antitrust part of that case was thrown out, and it was never certified as a class. This is an allegation, not a final verdict. But it's the exact question you should be asking at the counter. And the prescription line isn't a guarantee of safety either. In February of 2023, Purina recalled one of those very veterinary diets, Pro-Plan veterinary diets, EL Elemental, for potentially elevated vitamin D. After a supplier error, 2 dogs got sick, both recovered. We're not going to inflate that number. 2 dogs and they recovered. But sit with what it means. The medical grade, vet-only premium bag had a nutrient error serious enough to pull from shelves because too much of a vitamin is not a health food. In excess, vitamin D drives calcium into the kidneys and can shut them down. Now let's talk about what dry pet food can do to the people in your house, because it isn't only a dog problem. In 2012, a dry dog food, not Purina's, a brand called Diamond, was traced to a salmonella outbreak that infected 53 people across 21 states and 2 Canadian provinces. 38% of them were children, 2 years old and under. They didn't eat the food, they touched it or touched a bowl or a scoop or a baby bottle that touched the food. The CDC's guidance is blunt. Handle pet food like it can make you sick, because it can. The bag is in your kitchen, so is your family. And Purina's own history has a chapter here. For years, the FDA investigated chicken jerky treats tied to a wave of kidney failure in dogs. And by the end of 2015, it had logged more than 6,200 sick dogs and over 1,100 deaths. connected to jerky treats. Purina's Wagon Train was among the most reported brands in those complaint records. Now, we're going to be honest with you because that's the whole point of this channel. The FDA tested for years and never proved the exact cause associated with not proven to have caused. But over 1,000 dogs died. The treats stayed on shelves and the answer never came. And here's the fact that ties the whole system together. Late in 2023, thousands of owners went public blaming Purina Pro Plan for sick and dying pets. The FDA received around 1,300 reports. Then it investigated and it found no contamination, no link to the food, and it issued no recall. We are telling you that plainly, the FDA cleared it. But think about what this actually reveals. Nobody approves your dog's food before it reaches the shelf. There is no pre-market approval. The system doesn't check the recipe first. It waits for enough dogs to get sick. And even then, the recall, if it comes at all, comes late. Your dog is the test. So here's the good news we promised you at the start. The part that turns all of this from fear into power. We're not going to name a magic brand and send you to buy it, because that's just marketing in the other direction. We're going to give you the checklist the honest nutritionists use, the questions the label has to answer before that bag goes in your cart. 6 of them you can use every one of these on the Purina shelf, or any shelf. Today, 1, find the AAFCO nutritional adequacy statement and read how they proved it. If it says animal feeding tests using AAFCO procedure substantiate, good, they actually fed it to real animals. If it only says formulated to meet a profile, that means it passed a spreadsheet and nobody fed it to a dog. 2. Match the life stage to your actual dog, all life stages. Is really formulated for puppies and pregnancy, too rich for a senior on the couch. The right food is the one built for your dog, not the shelf. 3. Ask who formulates the food. You want a full-time expert on staff, a board-certified veterinary nutritionist, or a PhD in animal nutrition. If the answer is a marketing team and the word premium, that's your red flag. Because premium, holistic, and human grade are unregulated words that mean nothing. 4. Ask who actually makes it. Made by, they own the plant and own the recall beets, made for or distributed by. Ask if they test ingredients and finished batches. A company that owns its process owns its mistakes. 5. Ignore the beautiful first ingredient. The nutritionist's own guidelines say the ingredient list is very misleading. Instead, find the calories per cup and feed to your dog's ideal weight and body condition, not to a scoop and not to a bowl you keep topped up. Nearly 6 in 10 dogs in this country are overweight and most owners don't see it. Cheap, hyper-palatable food that's always available is exactly how that happens. The scoop on the bag is a suggestion from the company that profits when your dog eats more. 6. The walkaway test. Call the company or check the site. Can they name their nutritionist, share a full nutrient analysis, and give you a real person to talk to? The veterinary guideline is clear. If a manufacturer can't or won't tell you, be cautious about feeding that brand. And one more. Because your family shares that kitchen, handle dry pet food like raw chicken, dedicated scoop, bag, and bowls out of the food prep area. And wash your hands every time, especially around kids under 5. Because here's the truth, underneath all 6, your dog can't read the label, can't compare the panel, can't choose the cleaner bag. It eats exactly what you put in that bowl, every single day, for its whole life, and it trusts you completely to get it right. So make the label earn that trust. If it can't answer these questions, who made it, who formulated it, how they proved it, what's really in it, put the bag back on the shelf. So let's put it all in one line, the way you'll repeat it to someone who's still feeding it. An all-American bag owned by a Swiss conglomerate, a panel built on corn byproducts, dyes your dog can't see, and a preservative Europe banned, a prescription diet the FDA says it never approved as medicine, and prices that climbed while the amount of food shrank and the profit grew. That's not a dog food company, that's a marketing company that happens to sell dog food. And if this is what we found in the #1 brand in America, ask yourself what's hiding in the rest of the aisle. The daily treats you hand over without a thought. The full prescription diet racket across every brand that runs it. And the biggest one of all, who actually owns the hospital your vet works in. Each of those is bigger, more hidden, and honestly more disturbing than what you just saw. We're investigating all 3, so subscribe and turn on notifications. So the next investigation lands in front of you the day it drops, because these are the videos the industry is really hoping you never see. We read the labels and the filings so the animal that can't read them doesn't pay the price. This is Pet Food Insider. Thanks for being here. Now go look at the back of that Purina bag in your kitchen, really. Look the way your dog would if it could. Stay informed, stay skeptical, and read the back of the bag twice before you ever trust the front of it again.